Hey, I'm Alex Ratcliffe from Board Game Co., and these are the games I reviewed last September. At this point, we're now over a year into the series, which means if I wanted to, we could start doing a 2-year look back, but I think for right now, I'm going to go ahead and continue doing a year-long look back, and perhaps when we hit 3 years, we'll go ahead and start including that as well. So I guess we got another 11 months to go before we start finding out where they are 3 years ago. In any case, let's go ahead and dive into this. This is Where Are They Now, where I take a look at the games I reviewed last September. As usual, there are a lot of prototypes in here, which means many of the games are going to fall in the category of I haven't played them since. I'll still include very brief notes on them, but there's going to be less going on there because, well, I haven't played them since. As usual, it's going to be divided up into the games I have not played since reviewing them, the games I have, the game in which I continue to play them, my opinion has not changed on them, and then the games in which my opinion has changed on them. The largest category is always the games I haven't played because either they're prototypes and they don't exist, or I didn't like them enough and I got rid of them, and I therefore have not dove into them again. In any case, starting off the bat with the games I have not played, many prototypes in this category, we have Solosphere. Solosphere was a midweight Euro worker placement game with the dice being the workers. Overall enjoyed it without falling in love with it. That'd be a 3.5 out of 5. We have Sheepy Time from AEG. Sheepy Time was a fun push your luck system that for me, ultimately, I think there are other simpler, more accessible push your luck games that I prefer. I think Sheepy Time was very whimsical, very charming, very well done. I think the theme possibly hurt it, very, very strongly drove it as a kids family game, even though it could be adult focused, but there are other games I'd rather play in the push your luck category. That one's a 3 out of 5 for me. The Artemis Odyssey was another prototype. That was the Artemis Odyssey, we had the Artemis something, and the Artemis Odyssey. I think I'm doing this correctly. The Artemis Project and the Artemis Odyssey. The Artemis Odyssey was a spiritual successor to the Artemis Project. That was another prototype. Overall enjoyed that one. That was a 3 out of 5. I liked it. It's a reprint of an older game. Can't remember the name of the game, but it's a reprint of an older game. I believe from Bruno Cathala, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be mistaken. Overall, thought it was pretty well done, but not one that very much hooked my imagination. It was a 3 out of 5. Then we have Collab, another prototype. Collab was one that was kind of mixed, and they changed it as well, so my opinion is actually several steps back, so we'll take that into account with any prototypes I cover. But Collab was a game that it had 2 games going on. One was the core resource engine of the board, which I thought was a little more gimmicky and less interesting than I'd like, and then there's a card play system of trying to line up your cards and trying to have them play off one another. I loved the card play system, but I didn't like the core resource optimization, and so the overall package is a 3 out of 5, although there are elements that I really enjoyed of the game, and again, I know they made changes, so I don't know where those changes wound up. We have Quests and Cannons. Quests and Cannons is a 3.5 out of 5. I solidly enjoyed that one. It was a little lighter than what I'm personally looking for, but overall the experience I did enjoy. As a bunch of modes as well that I didn't have a chance to dive into, like T modes or things like that, other ways to enjoy and experience the game. I like it. It's very much a Merchants Marauders light kind of experience, almost like if you took Catan, the accessibility of Catan, and combined it with Merchants Marauders. That's what Quests and Cannons is. Overall enjoyed it. 3.5 out of 5. We have Kabuto Sumo from Board Game Tables, one that I also got rid of because Kabuto Sumo is a game that I love the concept of it, although loved is a strong word. I really enjoyed the concept of it. I thought it would be a fun, family-friendly game. Not a game night game, but a filler game to play with my kids, which you push these little discs on the table and knock things off, kind of like you would at an arcade. The problem is they also mimicked the frustration of the arcade, in which you actually get to do nothing as far as pushing them off, so it kind of really did a good job of mimicking the arcade experience of pushing a single coin onto a platform and having everything else not fall off. They did a good job with that. There were a bunch of optional house rules or things on the internet as far as ways to make the experience better, but as I dove into it, it was, hey, this is a really cool concept with really cool pieces, but didn't really deliver on the execution for me. 2 out of 5. Then we have Agamonia. Agamonia, which is one that I really enjoyed. That's one that I almost wish I could dive into more. Agamonia is one that I almost want to boost the rating, but I kind of need to play it more before I can do that. That one's a 4 out of 5. I really liked Agamonia. I'm very much looking forward to the final copy. It was both accessible and campaign driven, and I just really liked it. It was a surprise hit for me. I knew I'd enjoy it, but how much I enjoyed it, I didn't realize until I actually played it. Still looking forward to Agamonia. Then we have EOS Island of Angels, which was a 4 out of 5, although that was one where I wonder if it'll come down. And this is one of the harder parts of being a reviewer, which is the fact that you say something. If I say to my friends, hey, I really like this game, and then I change my mind later, it's not a big deal. If I say that to you and change my mind later, it's a bigger deal because you may have bought things based on what I said, and I never love that feeling. But EOS Island of Angels is a game that I did very much enjoy, but I feel it's one of those games, a game that kind of fits in the category as Quad Heroes for me. I feel EOS is one of those games where I need to play it again to remind myself of how much I enjoyed it, because mentally I'm like, a 4 out of 5? I give it a 4 out of 5, but the truth is I remember parts of it that I really enjoyed. I remember the puzzle of trying to utilize your crew in different ways, but I didn't love the main board mechanism mechanism as far as the overall exploration of the board. So I think I need to play EOS more. I did really like it. Like Quad Heroes before, completely unrelated, just the feeling they give me. Quad Heroes is a game that I frequently think to myself, you know what, it's a little fiddly, I shouldn't play it, I should get rid of it, and then I play it and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this game. And so Quad Heroes has that kind of similar feeling as EOS to me, but in terms of EOS, I'll have to play it again. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I wonder if it'll hold that rating for me, because mentally I'm kind of thinking it should be a 3.5, but we'll see. Again, apologies if it's not that great. I liked it, I really did. It's just that weird afterthought where I'm just not as excited as I was when I covered it. Then we have Verdant. Verdant from Flat Out Games. Gave the one a 4 out of 5. Solidly enjoyed it. I prefer other Flat Out Games titles over Verdant, but Verdant is like a step behind Calico for me. Same basic puzzle. Really enjoyed it. They have a new game coming out, Fit to Print, which we'll be covering as well. Then we have Masters of the Universe from Command Games. Overall, really enjoyed that one. It's a 4.5 out of 5 for me. I gave it a 5 out of 5 for context, but that was before I had the 0.5 scalings. I believe it would be a 4.5. In general, when I do these Where Are They Now follow-ups, anything that wasn't on the 0.5 scale, I do adjust up or downwards to where I think it would fall. Master of the Universe is one that would be a 4.5 out of 5. Really enjoyed it. My biggest concern is just how often it'll get tabled. It's the kind of game that might not get tabled that often, but I liked it a lot. It very much is a almost a theming or reprint of The World of Smog, Rise of Moloch, which I really enjoy. Had a lot of the core DNA from that system, also from Command Games, and I think it held through. I'm very excited to dive into that one. And then lastly, we have Beast, another one that's getting a point shift, although this one's getting up instead of down. Beast was a 4.5 out of 5. I really like it. I give it a 4th time, but again, I think it'll be a 4.5. I love Beast. It was a solid hidden movement game. I like the category of hidden movement in general, and Beast and Mind Management have been the two most amazing in that genre for me. Very much looking forward to Beast. Again, none of these games have I played again. This is the last one of the list, but I have not played any of these again since covering them. I may have played Beast again. There's a possibility I did play Beast again. There's even the possibility I played Verdant again. But like some of those would be briefly after reviewing it, but not that much longer. In any case, moving on to the category of things that haven't changed. There's not, again, only a handful of games here. There's 3 in this category and then 2 in the category of things that have changed. We have in the have not changed category but continue to play. We have Furnace. Still a 4 to 5 of this one. I still dive into this one. I still enjoy the resource puzzle. It's a solid game. It takes around 45 minutes to play, but it gives me a solid resource puzzle every single time. I enjoy Furnace. I like Furnace. I like playing Furnace. It's a good game. Not up or down in the scale. I am curious what the expansion will do for me. There is an expansion coming, and I assume it'll bump it up. I remember when I reviewed this, I said I kind of want an expansion, so we'll see. Or it stays the same, I guess. I don't think it gets worse. I like Furnace a lot. Then we have Calico. Calico is another 4 to 5 for me. I continue to play this one, continue to enjoy it. It's still a 4 to 5. I still have the same. It's kind of predictable every time I play it, but it is consistently a good time. It is consistently fun. You always go through that puzzle of trying to find that perfect piece. I have complaints. I have reasons why I think it's not as best of a game as it possibly could be, of why sometimes it just comes down to the luck. At the end of the day, I really like Calico every single time I play it, and I enjoy the puzzle every single time I play it. And then we have Paleo. Paleo's a 4 to 5 as well. This one almost would have gone up, but for right now, I think it's sticking at a 4.5, a 4 out of 5, not a 4.5. For me, Paleo's one that I really enjoyed my initial plays of it, and I enjoyed it more and more as I played it. But as I dive into different modules, I have found that sometimes I have experiences that are a little bit more, feel a little bit more luck-driven. And also I find 3 players is just so much better than 2 players as an experience, although 2 players is where I play it more, which has definitely tainted exactly where it lands for me. Still a 4 out of 5, but for a brief time, I would have thought it would go up. I really like it. Very unique game. Very highly recommended. Paleo's a solid one. And then lastly, in the reviews that have changed category, we have 2 over here. One which hasn't really changed, but again, difference of the way I interact with it, and then one which actually has changed. For Kokopelli. Kokopelli is one that is a 4 out of 5 from Queen Games and Stefan Feld. I really like Kokopelli a lot, but it's also one that has gone onto my shelf of games that I might cull. For context over here, I have a shelf in my basement of games I might cull, and that's where I put things that I'm on the fence about, and then I see how I mentally feel with them. In the case of Kokopelli, it's stayed there for a bit. It hasn't actually left just yet. It's kind of just sitting there waiting for me to decide if I am or I am not going to cull it, but it's one that I really like it, and I like what the game's doing, but for some reason I don't pull it out and play it in comparison with other Stefan Feld games or other games in general. So I like Kokopelli. I think it's a great game. I love the puzzle of playing on the cards and trying to figure out which sets of cards you're going to create to utilize their abilities. Really enjoy that overall. For some reason, I don't table it that much. And then lastly, we have Cascadia. We also have a visitor, apparently. Hey, buddy, come on over. Come on over. Come. Lastly, we have Cascadia. Cascadia is the last one on the list over here. Cascadia is over here from Flat Out Games. This one has... What's this, buddy? What is it?
Animal.
It's an animal?
Yeah.
It is an animal. It is an animal. We have Cascadia. Cascadia from Flat Out Games. Again, a lot of Flat Out Games covers being reviewed this month. No, Passy. No, Passy. We have a lot of Cascadia game, a lot of Flatout Games titles being reviewed this month. Cascadia is one that I give a 4 at a time, and I did a full comparison review of Cascadia and Calico and Cascadia, Calico, and Verdant. I covered all three together, and from those three, I ranked them Cascadia, Calico, and Verdant in that order. But at the time, they were all 4s. Cascadia is a 5 to me. I really enjoy it. It's consistently grown. Where the other ones have stayed kind of level, Cascadia is one that has consistently grown for me, and I just really like it. It is not, it doesn't have the same excitement as I do as some other games that I might give a 5 to, but it is just so accessible. It's one of my go-to gateway games right now. Like if I have somebody in the house who's trying to play games for the first time, Cascadia is one that will give them an entry-level experience that will pull them in while keeping everyone else at the table invested. It has high variability. I do want even more variability from some of the cards. I want some more puzzles going on as far as how that works. Very much looking forward to an expansion for this one. I hope one happens at some point. But overall, that is Cascadia. And that is basically it. That is the Where Are They Now? And Child's wandering off, probably because I took his Passy away and he doesn't love that. But overall, that's Where Are They Now? The games I reviewed last September, and that's where we are. Buddy, you want your Passy back? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna give him his Passy now, apparently. Here we go. In any case, and until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. Hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I hope you have a good one.